Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, our distinguished guests. I'm Vanessa from Guide Dogs Association of the Blind. Now, before I start, let me just ask you, if I ask you to close your eyes right now and make your way to the exit, how possible do you think you can do that without feeling fear and that you might hit something and might fall? So that's the challenge that our visually impaired beneficiaries face on a daily basis. So before I start, I would like to give you a quick history of guide dogs. Guide dogs were trained to lead the blind soldiers during World War I because thousands of soldiers lost their vision at the war, and the German doctor discovered that he could train guide dogs to be guiders to the blind soldiers, and that gave birth to Guide Dog School in 1916. Do you know that there are 50,000 visually impaired Singaporeans here? But how many do we see on the streets? A lot of them live a lonely and reclusive life because there is currently a lack of support system in Singapore. The first guide dog was brought into Singapore in 1982. Unfortunately, the society wasn't ready. The guide dog team faced a lot of rejections everywhere they went, and hence, goodbye, my Stacy. So what happened was a lost dreams of independence for the visually impaired in Singapore. Guide Dogs Association of the Blind was formed in 2006 by a group of like-minded individuals who believed that they could do something to empower the visually impaired in Singapore. And we are a charity organization that has the IPC status, which means we are credible. So what do? We provide mobility to our beneficiaries to give them the quality of life back. So we want to give them back their independence through the use of cane and also through the use of using their remaining sensory to make sense of their surroundings, like detecting potential hazards like stairs and drains. And suitable candidates will be considered to be matched with a guide dog. Now, not all dogs can be guide dogs. Guide dogs go through rigorous training, 2 years, and specially bred. Why guide dogs? Because guide dogs have brains and eyes, unlike a cane. If you use a cane, the whole responsibility is on the blind person, but a guide dog can guide a blind person better than a cane. So, 5,000 guide dogs in the UK, but 1,500, but only 3 guide dogs in Singapore. Why? This is our first guide dog, Esme. And this is Dennis and Melba who are here with us today. Now, with your help, there will be a lot more that we can do for the blind people in Singapore. It is not an exaggeration to say that guide dogs are a new pair of eyes for the blind beneficiaries and plays a life-changing role. Thank you.
How many dogs do you need a year?
Sorry?
How many dogs? How many guide dogs?
Okay, we have brought in 3 guide dogs so far. Melba is the latest.
Yes, but what is the projected numbers you need?
The projected number of guide dogs really depends on our funding right now. One guide dog, including the training cost, between 40 to 60K, but that gives a good 10 years working life for a guide dog to a blind beneficiary. Yeah. So in order for us to bring more guide dogs, it really depends on how much funding we can get.
You see, you're asking for 280,000, right?
Yeah, 280,000 for 1 year. We can actually train blind people with the orientation mobility training using the white cane, and as well as bring in 2 guide dogs per year.
Can you maybe, just a suggestion to maybe tell the public or backers that the money can be used to maybe breed some of the dogs and have the trainers come here to train the trainers so that it becomes sustainable and not having to buy a $40,000 dog.
Okay. Okay, to address that question, right, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a sustainable delivery service whereby we want to have a guide dog trainer here in Singapore, and when we import the guide dogs from overseas, it actually reduces our cost because then we can do the training here. Because we still have to buy a guide dog from overseas since we don't have a breeding school here, but we can do the training in Singapore and hence reduce a lot of costs. Yeah. So it's a sustainable thing that is an ongoing support that we're appealing for, because there are 50,000 blind people, and even if not everyone is matched with the guide dog, we can help them with the orientation and mobility training program, and hence they can continue to work, go to school, and be self-reliant. Thank you.